all the YouTube people say the same thing. Initially, it's going to $4,000 an ounce. And I say initially it's going to $3,000 an ounce. And I expect it to go lower than that.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't tell you that, did I?
So wait a minute, should have waited to buy gold?
What does this mean for silver?
Buy your precious metals online from SD Bullion. New customers get gold and silver at spot by visiting sdbullion.com/new.
What did you say yesterday was like, Tim?
It was like an apocalypse.
Apocalypse?
Yes. And people bringing in their stuff and getting useless money in return. It was really pretty amazing.
Cleared out your cash?
Oh, well, immediately. But it did the same thing the day before.
Yeah.
So I was buying things at 99%.
Right. Yesterday.
Things that I don't want at 98.5%, and nobody complained about it. And the reason is they've asked other places, and other places don't want to buy it anymore.
They don't want to buy silver. That's a theme I've been hearing, Tim, more and more.
Silver or gold.
Silver or gold?
It's affecting gold as well, yeah.
Do you think that's temporary? They don't want to buy stuff like this?
I think that everybody is realizing that the price of gold is not based on anything solid. That's the problem. So nobody believes what it is. So, well, it's still up there, so I might as well sell it. And then if it goes down, maybe I'll buy some more.
Wow.
And there are people who think about things like Basel III and what's going on with the banks. Mm-hmm. Everybody goes to the bank and they say, "Oh, I need $10,000. What do you intend to do with the money?" "Well, I'm going to buy some gold." Okay, well, you have to make an appointment, come back on Thursday. People are getting this from their banks.
Did you get that?
It was a little different. But I went to a bank that had one teller and a line out the door. I understand it there. So I went to another branch of that bank this morning and got some cash.
Why are you selling these beautiful bars?
My business is down right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand.
Property
Yep.
taxes.
Taxes? Yeah.
Oh, geez, don't remind me.
It's better than putting it into debt. So.
Hey, I agree with you. Good for you. I'm here with somebody who's playing the gold to silver ratio.
Yes, I am. I'm going for more space right now. I was trying to play the ratio, and this is the lowest it's been in a couple months. So I figured, what the heck? Let's flip it. So that's the...
You're trying to get rid of all this silver.
90 ounces.
90.
90 here for the Liberty Head Double Eagle.
There was a beautiful BU in there, wasn't there?
I left that for you, Yankee.
You did? Oh, thanks. And you went with a lower mintage.
Yes. Instead of 6 million, I chose the one under $1 million.
Is that going to be the right thing to do in an SHTF scenario? Get the lower mintage gold Liberty?
A higher mintage and a low mintage are the same in barter.
So when it comes down to that, if it comes down to that, will it really matter?
Will it really matter? No, because the price of gold will have soared. Inflation would be out of control. And if we're in a barter community, you'll be getting so much more for either one. And it'll be the same, You'll be able to buy 10 gallons of gasoline or something.
No, he's right. Listen
Yeah,
to Tim.
yeah.
I'm a little bit of a collector.
That's
I like
fine.
pretty things, so...
It matters now, but if we get to that kind of a barter situation, it won't matter. It won't matter.
So are we going to be able to do this, do you think? 90 ounces to that one? Or?
There's a little left over.
There's a little left over, so
Yeah.
we'll make it happen.
All right.
So hold on to these.
I would, because we just haven't had any luck with them. In fact, I have a box of those that Yankee didn't find on his search. You don't know where they are, do you?
Well, do you know where they are?
I do know where they are. You skipped right over them.
Come on. Direct me right to them. Tell me exactly where those are.
Okay, you know the Skechers box on the... You skipped over that, and you went right to One Papa,
What?
the
Okay.
Indian chief. Okay?
To the left of the...
You didn't look in the
Spittoon.
Skechers box. The Skechers box was full of gold.
Oh, that one, yes. I was really close, huh? I was that close. Those are nice.
Yeah.
So you have a bunch of those?
More than I want.
This is all
Yep.
yours.
All right.
So,
You're going to walk out of here with a gold Liberty, though, aren't you?
yes, sir. I'm happy. I'm getting more space, and I'm going to get a roll of these like you. I'm going for the 2.
Yes.
Picked him up on his bars.
Oh, the
kilos and
Yeah.
100 ounce.
Yeah,
Spot.
somebody was just in here buying up a bunch of silver kilos, right?
A whole box. You better hurry. No.
Yeah.
He
That's a
bought
great
it
deal.
exactly. Actually, it was a little less than spot.
Less?
Well, we
than
had to
spot?
make it come out to an even number.
Oh, you love even
It
numbers.
was like 1181.15 or something like that, and I made it 1180.
That's great.
$1.50 discount. Can't beat it.
That's cool. All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yankee. I'll watch you tonight.
Live.
Thanks
And
very much.
if you have any opinions, don't be afraid to express those opinions. There are 2 schools of thought
You need an unplugged
about what's
version.
going to happen when Basel III goes into effect.
Okay.
Yes.
And the people, all the YouTube people say the same thing, that the banks are going to be buying gold and gold will skyrocket.
Right.
I have exactly the opposite opinion. And so everybody says initially it's going to $4,000 an ounce.
Sure,
and
sure.
I say initially it's going to $3,000 an ounce. And I expect it to go lower than that.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't tell you that, did I?
So wait a minute. What does that make you feel like? You just bought some gold.
No, I'm doing it for the long haul. Like, I'm not planning on selling this. But
He
Tim's
has-
right. Tim's right for the short term.
he is,
Maybe.
He has real gold, not paper
Oh,
gold.
No, I understand. That's totally true. But you
And
think
everything on this is paper gold.
you think the spot price, which the physical gold is still based on, unfortunately, that is going down to 3,000.
Well, I think the
Wow.
Wow, this is huge.
futures contracts should not be setting the price of gold. Every commodity eventually goes back to supply and demand. That's one of the basic laws of economics.
Sure.
There is plenty of supply. The Chinese have proven there's plenty of supply. If you want gold, you don't need to buy it from another country. You need to dig holes in the ground and, the old-fashioned
Mine
way.
it.
Yeah, the old-fashioned way. If banks are going to buy gold because it's now a tier 1 asset, would they rather buy it at $4,000 an ounce or at $2,000 an ounce?
Well, they would rather buy it when it's lower, but you're saying they're going to manipulate that down.
One of the features of Basel III is that futures contracts have no value.
Correct.
No, they're not an asset.
That's right.
And a lot of these vehicles that they're using to pump up the price of gold have no value. And every big bank has an affiliation with some investment company. They're probably going to be talking to that hedge fund or whatever it is and saying, can you please make an effort to get this down to where we can afford, because it goes into our capital reserve requirements. And if our capital reserve requirements go down, we're going to be fined. Or whatever the mechanism is, I don't even know what it is. But since you guys are, you love to pump gold up so you can short it, can you please keep shorting it? So when we need to buy gold, we can buy it at a reasonable price and not be worried about the bottom falling out of our capital
That is
reserves.
illegal, man.
No,
That's
no,
wrong.
What's illegal is for the people who are buying futures contracts to be working together and then shorting it at the same time. That's illegal. But it's not
But the
illegal for a
banks-
bank. It's okay. Let's just use Chase Manhattan and J.P. Morgan.
Okay.
Okay. Chase Manhattan is that's their supplier when they need money. Okay. And so whoever is running Chase Manhattan, or whatever it is they call themselves now, they're going to say, okay, we'd like to put some gold in our capital reserves, but not at $4,000 an ounce. So if you guys can stop boosting gold for a little while, let's see where the real price is, and so then we'll consider putting it in our capital reserves. What they can't afford is having something in their capital reserves that's going to go up or go down or go up or go down, because that's a killer. Because every time it drops, their capital reserve requirements are in violation.
Still sounds like collusion to me. That doesn't sound right to
Well,
me.
okay, so this price that we see of gold, what
Yeah.
is that? It really does appear to be manipulated, doesn't
Sure
it?
it does, yes.
So let's look at the other side of it. The banks maybe want to buy gold. Gold is a tier 1 asset, but they don't want it to fluctuate. So how do they prevent fluctuation? Buy it at a low price.
So you're saying if Basel III isn't delayed, does become reality, it's going to, prior to that, you're going to see gold drop dramatically.
I'm looking for 3,000 gold before the end of the year, not 4,000 gold.
Wow. What, is that the bottom?
I think if the banks have any strength at all or any say in the matter, it's going to go lower. And I think they would love to see it at about 2,000.
That's insanely low. Wouldn't that be a buying frenzy at that point?
Not necessarily. Have you seen what's been going on here the last couple of days?
What's been going on? People sell like crazy.
Yeah,
right?
we had a sellout in 2 days. 2 days sellout. Incredible numbers.
Epic.
Today is very different from the way it's been the whole week.
Yeah, we've had buyers today. Right?
A lot of buyers today.
Good. Like this gentleman. Does this make you feel like
Well, I was just going to say,
you
what
should
does
have
that-
waited to buy gold?
What does this mean for silver? Like,
Oh.
if this
Silver-
is going to be 3,
Silver gets dragged around. It's like,
know what
the
tail's behind.
caveman, dragging his wife around by the hair. That's gold and silver.
Yeah, like Fred Flintstone, heard. So it's kind of tailing along. Whatever gold does, silver's kind of trailing along.
Silver
roughly.
has been trailing along, yeah.
Okay.
And
So what's the price for silver if Basel III comes into
Well,
play and gold drops
okay,
below
the
3?
ratio may go back to a reasonable ratio. That's the other thing. That's
Like
the other
70,
opinion.
60, 50?
It could go back to 50.
You were looking for a low ratio, weren't you?
No. Like, this is long term, like I
Okay,
said. So
Well,
if you do this
everything
every
is
week,
long-term.
every year,
everything
yeah.
is long term.
Short term, he's right.
And you possibly may not have to make a decision as to, when we go to a barter economy of using that gold coin. You see, because
Exactly.
the whole world may adopt a very reasonable stance, and I think we don't know if Basel III is going to go into effect.
That's true.
We're less than a week away.
Yeah, no, it could be delayed big time. Probably will be.
That's,
But
know.
they've got to do something, okay? Because this is an agreement amongst the banks, and any of the banks that are operating outside this country, which is all the top banks in New York, they've got to consider this seriously, because they have to have capital reserves that are 150% of what they were before, something like that.
Yeah.
So if they have to enhance their capital reserves, they got to be very careful about what they put in those capital reserves.
You know there's going to be a lot of comments on this video saying, well, is Tim saying I shouldn't be buying gold now? I should wait? I shouldn't buy the silver until it Basel
Well, he's
III?
giving you the short term forecast.
the short term.
It's not a
forecast.
long term.
Now let's.
But you know they're going to ask that.
Oh, you're right.
Okay,
You're right.
I would look at the comments that Citigroup recently made about gold, and there's got to be some reason for them to say that. But the logical case is Basel III is implemented, and the capital reserve requirements have to be set in stone. They don't want to be slipping below that.
Right.
So they're going to use every vehicle they can to boost those capital reserves. But it doesn't make any sense at all to be buying gold at $4,000 or $3,000 and then have it drop.
No, I get it.
Now, it did get to $3,500 an ounce.
Yeah.
And within minutes, it was shorted. And I believe they covered the short. It looks like they covered it at about $32.75. They want to do that one time so they know what their capital reserves in gold are, and they're not going to do it again. But they don't want to buy it up here and have those reserves drop. So whatever clout they have with their affiliated trading houses is, go as low as you can get it. Okay, or stop boosting it. That's all they want to do, stop boosting it.
So what should the stacker do? What should the silver and gold stacker do based on what you've just told us?
I would say stay in touch with what the banks are saying, okay? The banks maybe, like Citigroup, got my interest because they're projecting that it goes to 3,000. and may possibly go into the 2000s.
Trust the banks? Wouldn't they want to manipulate this and keep us in the dark?
Well,
Are they scared of a run on the bank? Is that why they're so worried about the cash?
well, that's the capital reserves are free.
They're
Exactly
worried about
that.
the runs.
Remember too big to fail?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm worried
They want to
about.
eliminate too big to fail because it
don't
sacked a
want that.
lot of economies around the world.
Sure.
I don't want to,
It was terrible.
dump on any economies around the country, but
Yeah.
this country was the biggest operator of too big to fail, and that has done nothing more than to boost our debt tremendously.
100%.
And
agree.
when it gets up to a certain level where you can't even pay the interest on your debt, and then it only grows.
We're in
Only
deep
grows.
trouble. But again, the stackers should listen to the banks, or
Well,
should they maybe
okay.
go contrary to what
Listen,
the
if
banks
they're
are
going to
saying?
put
If you
capital,
don't trust them.
if
I
they're
don't
gonna
trust
put-
them, Tim.
If they're going to put gold in their capital reserves, they're going to have an initial buy so they can put it on the books at a certain amount, okay?
Right.
So watch for
And
the
then
big buy.
and
Watch for
not
the big buy.
worry about it.
Yeah. Watch the banks. He's right.
I think that Citigroup was giving a signal to people, and everybody seems to be ignoring their opinions don't matter.
They're the ones controlling the market. They're working with the hedge funds. He's right.
Every time
right.
the Senate has a stress test,
Watch the money.
you look
Watch
at the
the money.
banks that they are testing. They usually pick from 9 banks. The last one was 2022 or 3, whatever it was.
Right.
I think it was Bank of America, Citigroup, Chase,
Yep.
and maybe it was Wells Fargo. I'm not sure.
Right.
But you can get those. They're probably on YouTube someplace.
Yep.
So you look at the stress test, and now you know the banks that are going to be making decisions like this. Okay, well, if we're going to buy gold, we need to buy it no more than at that price. We don't care what happens to it after that. Okay, we don't care, but it's as long as it doesn't go lower than that. So
there may be, honestly though, Tim, there may be an incredible buying opportunity coming up if that actually occurs.
yes, but that is limited to people like my customers who buy gold at a lower price. Okay, that's not the biggest purchase of gold. Take all the people who are in your channel and all the people that are my customers buying from around the country. That's the smallest part of it. And
The retail purchasers.
Yeah, and there's a reason why China buys gold at a very low price, because they're smart. They're like really, really smart.
Oh yeah.
How many other countries are mining gold? There may be a few.
Yeah.
I mean, South Africa always mines gold, but are they putting it into their capital reserves? Basel III is going to make investing in paper gold kind of useless. Okay, so
more futures.
the gold purchase
futures.
gold purchases will be limited to individuals, banks, and maybe some countries that think it's a good opportunity to put their citizens' hard-earned
supply
money
and demand.
into gold.
Right.
I think
Value based
that would definitely be
instead of just paper. Incredible.
definitely be
lucrative.
supply and demand.
You did that intentionally, didn't you? You did. You waited until I
Do you have any
shut it.
power left?
I have no power left.
Go plug it into
Well,
a real
remember,
thing.
don't forget to subscribe to Yankees Channel.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.